Special FT Live post-game show after Game 3 of the World Series. It is powered by MLB 9 Innings, Scotty Braun, AJ Pierzynski, and Erik Kratz. Clean-shaven Erik Kratz. All right, so
you know why he did that? Because he tried to mix it up so the Yankees would win. That's why he shaved. That's why. Admit it, Kratz. That's why you shaved.
You'll find out in 2 days what I dressed up for my costume party. That's why I shaved. Shaved on Saturday.
I have a good feeling. I have a good feeling I know, but I'm going to hold my guess for now so we can jump into the game. And I want to start here. The Dodgers are beating up the Yanks. I mean, I know the end result, again, is like somewhat, quote, close, but 4-2 after another 4-2. Game 1 is a whole different story. These last 2 games, like they're winning the game. There's not super tense moments here at the end. I mean, sure, could it have gotten a little more interesting if Gleyber Torres gets on and then Soto comes up with Judge looming on deck? Maybe, although it was more for entertainment purposes because Judge probably would have struck out. Sorry, he's just not in good shape right now. But, I mean, I probably would have just walked Soto to face Judge. But anyway, I mean, your thoughts here on how the Dodgers are pulling this off?
Well, first of all, they're jumping ahead of them.
Yeah.
Right? The last couple of games, they've just jumped ahead of them and they just took them out of it. I mean, when you go down early in these games, it's a big deal. And their pitching's been outstanding. Listen, I've said this for years. The team with the best starting pitching wins the series. I'm not saying every time because I'm sure you can go back through history and someone on Twitter will be like, you said this and it's not true. But most of the 95% of the time, the best starting staff wins the series. And the Dodgers, who we thought the Yankees had this advantage, Buehler, Yamamoto, and Jack Flaherty have been absolutely unbelievable compared to what the Yankees have got. Now, Garrett Cole was great, but the next 2 nights, they have not been very good. Rodon and then Schmidt tonight went 3 1/3 and 2 1/3 or something like that combined, so 6 innings combined, whatever it is. Like that's not going to get it done, especially now they have to win 4 games in a row. So now they have to go their leverage guys early. I mean, Heel tomorrow is going to be on 0 leash. I mean, he is going to be like, and Boone's got to get right to his dudes. And a lot of those dudes threw tonight to keep the game close.
Yeah, the bullpen's fine, but you got to score runs. I mean, sure, they got a Verdugo home run late, but Buehler shoved, and the Dodgers bullpen is plenty damn good. And that's it. And also, Kratz, there's a few guys. It's a bit of a top-heavy team, I would say, all year. They are, in my mind, less well-rounded, much less well-rounded. Bottom of the Dodgers lineup looks far, far better than what the Yankees put out there.
That was a problem. That was a problem early in the year for the Dodgers. They addressed it. Now, did they address it by continually letting Gavin Lux figure it out? Yes. But they addressed it, and they figured it out. Tommy Edmonds is hitting 9th, and he was hitting 4th earlier in the playoffs when he's facing lefties. Like they just have a deeper lineup right now that is clicking on all cylinders. But what AJ said about who gets the best starting pitching is no more exemplified, no more like shown a bright light on, because if you look at the numbers, both teams had 11, both starting staffs or both pitching staffs had 6 walks. So it's not the walks. 7 punch-outs, 11 punch-outs. Very close. Both gave up dingers, but it was the fact that Buehler let them have a 3-0 lead before he came out. Then they added another one on late. But the Dodgers have flipped the script on the Yankees, not even talking about the lineup. They flipped the script on the Yankees saying, well, the Yankees have the better starting pitching. Said this guy. I said it. And they are the better starting pitching team right now in the first 3 games of this series.
Which is incredible because they're down a lot of starters.
Yeah.
A lot.
But you know what they do? Because the Dodgers use their resources properly, they went out and get Jack Flaherty. Right? They signed Yamamoto. Right? They had Buehler coming back. Now, what we saw Buehler early in the year is not playoff Walker Buehler. We got to start discussing how good he's been in the playoffs.
Let's do it.
Okay? I mean, now tomorrow's a bullpen game, but I mean, this dude right here, his last 2 starts have been awesome. Now, he struggled in the San Diego start, but he got to figure it out. They're like, all right, we're going to probably lose this game. We need innings from you. And if you think about Walker Buehler and where he's at, he saved them in that one game because he saved their big bullpen pieces so they could win games 4 and games 5 and get them to this point where they're at. Because I picked San Diego to beat them. A lot of people thought especially when they went down 2-1, people were like, oh, the Dodgers, here they go again, choking in the playoffs. But Buehler, by giving him the innings he gave him, saved the bullpen pieces so they could win the next 2 games, and now here they are, 1 win away from the World Series.
It's crazy. At one point during the season, you're looking at Buehler and you're like, I mean, he's not going to pitch an inning for the Dodgers in the playoffs. And look what he's doing now. Like you mentioned, even in his bad, quote, bad start, he eats innings and helps the bullpen. In the good starts, I mean, he's a freaking gamer, just like he was. He's been this guy. He's a different version of his prior self, although not as much tonight, Kratz. I mean, the fastball had the zip that we've seen from playoff Walker Buehler in the past, butane, as they call him. And I think the other positive is when you're that good for a while and you have that type of fastball that can beat almost anyone, you can get reliant on it and you can get stubborn. He seems to keep talking about how he's becoming more well-rounded because he had to rediscover himself or he wasn't going to be able to pitch in the bigs this year. So all of a sudden, like that prior start, of course, he's really dealing the secondary stuff. This time the fastball's there. Now you're kind of becoming the total package.
I mean, relying on it being a different guy, he had 6 swings and misses on his fastball. That was more than he had in any start all season. So more reliant, or he unlocked something in these last, not just 2 starts, but like AJ said, in his kind of a stinker, because they kept him out there. Maybe he unlocked it during the end of that outing but he didn't have any punch outs then. So he went swing and miss mode. He went, late life heater, getting by guys, which, is what I faced in 2018. 2018, he threw game 3 and game 7. And that speedball I had no chance on the speedball. My hit was off his slider, and he would back that up, and we actually beat him in game 3. But you sit there and you go, what is this guy really going to be as he rounds into next year? Because when we came into the playoffs, there was a chance he wasn't going to pitch. And if he was, it was like, hey, hopefully we can get one time through the lineup and then we'll go to our bullpen.
And then I want to go to the hitting side of things. I mean, you got to start with Freddie. Like you said, you get on the board early. I mean, Freddie Freeman's good for a home run per game in the World Series.
He has 5 games in a row.
That's
pretty
crazy.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Pretty awesome.
Going back to 2021, he did it twice, and now he's got 3 in these games. And I'll give you one stat on his homer. So Inside Edge said he's had 241 cutters up and in his career pitched to him, and that was his first homer off it. I know that
one wasn't really
spot.
to me. I mean,
isn't that his
that
spot?
That wasn't a cutter to me. That looked like he just yanked a heater. I don't think that was a cutter. To me, that looked like a 4-seamer that he was trying to go up and away on, and he just yanked it in, middle in. I just don't think that's a cutter. That's a mislocation. That's middle. That's not up. That ball's not up and in. If you throw Freddie Freeman close to him, that's the same pitch he hit out from the off Nestor Cortez.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's the exact same pitch. So, I mean, I know it registered cutter, but to me, that looked like he was trying to – now, I'd love to see the grip from behind, which they didn't show. But to me, that looked like he was trying to four-seam one up and away. Because if you look at Trevino's target, it was like up and away like this. And then he reached all the way across. Was he trying to backdoor a cutter right there?
Mm-hmm. I think he's trying to backdoor a cutter. And the only reason I'm saying that is because he has an open spot up and away. And I think he was trying to get cute and backdoor the cutter up and away. I don't think it cut. One, obviously he pulled it in, middle up. It was a lot higher than the one to Nestor. But if you go back and you watch, they don't show it. I looked up the highlights. They don't show it on the highlight. He kind of got rushed on that pitch, talking about Clark, because he was coming set and he was like shaking, no. And then he did. And you see him, because they had the front shot of him, you see him looking over, and he like sped up and threw that pitch. It almost looked like he was rushed by the clock, because the clock was down to like 1 or 2 seconds at that point.
Well, he kept taking it really close on the clock, especially with runners on. There was a runner on there. he kept getting it down to like 1 second every time. And even the announcers, Joe Davis and John Smoltz, said, if you're a base runner, I mean, he gets to 1, you can almost go, because he was getting it down to 1 and having to go almost every time. So, but listen, Freddie's been unbelievable. The Betts RBI single, let's give Tommy Edman some credit for base running, because I'm sitting there watching the game. As soon as that he's on second, I think with 1 out, that ball's hit, and I'm like, oh, that's a knock when I watched it live. But as a base runner on second, it's hard to tell that. Tommy Edman went right away and scored easy.
He was flying
on that ball, right? So to me, that's just great base running. That's great instincts, knowing where the out, because they always tell you as a kid, look and see where the outfielders are. So you turn over your shoulder before you get off the base, and you go, okay, da-da-da-da. And then you kind of forget about it, right? So that is just great instincts by Tommy Edman to score on that ball easily. Because off the bat, a lot of people would be like, oh, is it going to fall? He's like, nope, right away. Boom, scores easy. I mean, so that to me is also a huge play, because that gave him the 3rd run. And then they added on a 4th run on the Kike Hernandez bullet to right, where they played the game. The Dodgers are just beating them in every facet. Right?
They are.
Starting pitching, power, bullpen, small things. Defense has been huge. I mean, they're just doing every base running going first.
For sure.
Freddie Freeman on a bad ankle, 1st to 3rd. Like, they're just doing everything right now.
And on the other side, the Yankees were about to score. And I know they scored later thanks to Verdugo, but Giancarlo Stanton out at home.
Yeah, I have no problem with that. I think Kratz and I feel the same on this. You're struggling to score.
Yep.
Volpe did not hit that ball very hard. They're at the bottom of their order where they haven't done anything. Okay, there's 2 outs. You take a shot. And it took a perfect throw. Listen, Teoscar's going to his left or to his right, so he kind of got it like this. Comes up with a good, perfect throw. Right now, if it would have been to his left, it would have been easy, or Sendy would have scored probably easy. But still, I mean, watch this. This ball's not hit very hard. Look where Stanton is.
Yeah,
he's
he's far along.
But then it's just a perfect throw. And let's give Will Smith some credit. I mean, the tag was money, right? Like, he lets the ball travel and just lets the ball ride right into Stanton. I mean, it's just you got beat by a great baseball play. I have no problem with that send in that situation. Now, if there's 1 out or no outs, no. Whoop. But with 2 outs, let him go.
You're right, especially on the lineup part of things too. Like, you really think, oh, I got to save it for who was up next at that point. Rizzo?
No, or Verdugo. Rizzo or Verdugo.
So that was Volpe. So Rizzo. Right?
Rizzo.
That was Volpe's knock. Yeah, then Rizzo, and then
Trevino. And
then Trevino, right.
So yeah, it was Rizzo.
I mean, come on. You can't rely on the bottom of the lineup right now. They've done nothing. Nothing.
No, and the ball got to him the same time G got the 3rd. That's what you're looking at. You're looking at ball in hand, runner at 3rd. Unless it's an elite thrower in the game, like –
Did they lose us, or did we lose Kratz?
I'm still here.
Oh, you're still
here.
Guys, okay.
I'm just – nobody's using the internet here. Everyone's in bed, so –
yeah, no, you're dominating. You're good. You're good. Keep going. Come back, Kratz.
But all it is you're just reading that, and I thought Rojas read it. I mean, I get it, Yankee fans, they're frustrated. It's like Jazz arguing balls and strikes in that last inning. They're frustrated at that point. Doesn't mean that you have to make poor decisions. I think Rojas made a great decision there.
So now what? We had enjoyed the series. Was this fun? Did you guys enjoy the series?
It ain't over yet. 20-year reunion. 20-year reunion of the Red Sox doing it to the Yankees. So
you think that
Scott,
team
I'm not saying it's going to happen.
I know,
but if it had never happened, I would say there's no chance. But like what they say in Dumb and Dumber. So you're telling me there's a chance?
Yeah. The real question
We're like
is,
1 in a million.
Are we going to get a Game 5 even?
Well, that's
Or are we just going to get an absolute domination of a sweep, and then you're going to look back years from now and you're going to have to remind people like it wasn't that close. Besides Game 1, again, Game 1, different beast. That was an all-time game. These next 2 games had close results at the end, 2-run games, but they weren't that close. Sure, were the Yanks like a bloop and a blast away and all of that from getting back into this game like they did late.
These 2 games have never felt like the Yankees have had a chance.
No.
Like there's a difference, Kratz, and you know this as a player. Like there are times where you're in a game and you're watching a game. Maybe not when you're in it, because when you're in it, you always think like, I have a chance, right? But when you're watching a game on TV, you can just like they didn't have a chance. It was like now Game 1 they had the chance, but games 2 and 3, it's like the Dodgers. It felt like it was 20-0, and it was only 4-0 or 4-1 in Game 2. But it just has that feel, and you just watch. you're watching the Dodgers and the way they're playing, and then you watch the Yankees. It's like they're playing a different sport almost. You're like, wait, one of these teams in the World Series, the other one's in the Super Bowl. Like they're not playing the same thing because they're just not lining up. Now you don't have energy when you don't hit. I get all that, but it's just a feeling you get sometimes when you watch games.
Do you feel like the Dodgers are this much better than the Yankees? Because they have played so clean on the bases. They are playing injured. They are hitting more home runs. They are striking out less. They are, I mean, there isn't a facet of the game right now that they're not beating the Yankees at. Do we think the Dodgers are better than the Yankees? This much better?
I don't know if they're this much better, but right now they are because they're hitting and they look better.
I think they're this much better.
I think Scott and I had this conversation before we came on the air. The National League was better than the American League this year.
Much better.
Right? If you look at the teams across the board, the National League was much better. I mean, we said, if the Yankees played the Phillies, who wins? Probably the Phillies. If the Yankees played the Padres, who wins?
Padres.
If the Yankees played the Mets the way they were playing at the end of the year, who wins? So that's 4 teams. If you count the Dodgers, that probably would beat them in this World Series. You never know what could happen, but just if you look at it from the outside. So we're all saying, oh, they're evenly matched, but were they really evenly matched?
This current version of the Yanks, for me, Kratz, very good team. They made it to the World Series. Not as good as many of these National League teams that we've seen.
I agree. I agree. But I also think what's scarier, and we'll get into this for 3 months of the offseason, is the fact that this starting rotation is just a shell of what next year's starting rotation for the Dodgers is going to be. Like, this is like when they signed everybody, this is the moment that everybody wanted. This is Dodgers fans and even other fans. I remember Frazier said it. Todd Father said it. He goes, book it, World Series champs. And I'm like, no. That's not how baseball works. They did this with the injuries. Freddie Freeman didn't even play 2 games in the last series in the NLCS. He did not play. Not like he DH'd. He did not play, and they still did this. You talk about injuries, devastating injuries to your starting rotation, and they bought Shohei's starting rotation injury already, but they had everybody. They had esophaguses going down. They had elbows going down. They had shoulders. And some of the guys that they were supposed to pitch well didn't pitch well for them. Like, this team is scary. They're scary for the next 6 to 7 years.
Of course.
Yeah, they're going to be They're going to be scary for as long as they want to spend the money to be competitive. For me, I mean, you got Shohei for 9 more years. You got Mookie locked up. You got Freddie locked up. I mean, they can go out and get whoever they want to get. Yamamoto's locked up for a long time. Will Smith's locked up for a long time.
And it's still a good farm system.
And they have guys coming.
Yeah.
Right? This is Andrew Friedman, Ray's way on steroids.
Yes.
With money. We can just churn through these dudes. And it's amazing. Listen, Andrew Friedman deserves a ton of credit for putting this team together if they go on and get this 4th win, because of just the way he built the depth. And we don't talk about the depth of the organization enough, because there's not another team in baseball that could have survived what the Dodgers lost.
It's the arm depth that they are
That's what I'm saying.
building, yes. That you don't know half the relievers, right? Do you think Anthony Bonda is pitching massive innings for the Dodgers in the postseason? Right? You can go on some of these guys. These are not the highest paid relievers in the world. Vesia, Daniel Hudson.
Daniel Hudson's a stud. I caught his debut. He's a good fella.
But he's not like, if he was a free agent last year.
When he's been healthy, though. He's been healthy. No, he didn't pitch last year. But when he's been healthy, he's been good.
I know these guys are good. I'm just saying.
They found Brazier out of nowhere. Brazier, remember the Red Sox were like, beat it, Brazier.
So what happens?
And with his neck, he's like pitching and dealing.
They go to LA and they get better.
Yeah, Kopech.
That's what happens.
Kopech, scrappy.
Oh my gosh.
Basically from the White Sox.
Yes.
Look at him. Closing out a World Series game.
That's the difference right now. And I also will point this out because Freddie Freeman's the star of the series and he's going to be the World Series MVP unless there's the every 20 years we get a 3-0 comeback. Doubt it. But a lot of teams could have signed up for Freddie Freeman. He was struggling to find
The Rays
better offer.
tried.
Did they? Do you believe that? I don't know if I believe that, but we did talk about it. The Rays tried for him. They tried for Judge. I'm not sure if I buy it, but at least it was out there. I remember Freddie's free agency. It didn't seem like there were as many teams interested as there should be. And everyone's like, I feel like this guy's going to age well. He's got a sick hit tool.
Yeah.
What are we worried about? Plays first base.
He's in great shape.
Yeah.
Never really hurt.
Yeah, plays every day. Big dude. But not like big slender dude. I'm like, what am I missing here?
And a good guy, too.
Yeah. And guess
good
what?
Teammate, good fella.
Clutch. Guess what we were missing?
Canadian guy.
Nothing. We were missing nothing. Teams missed out. Freddie Freeman is a freaking bargain. That's what happened. Steal signing. Steal.
What about Blake Trinan? $1 million. I think he's signed for $1 million.
Oh, of course. Well, the bullpen guys, like we just said, I mean, there's a bunch of steals there. But Freddie Freeman was a very well-known commodity. Mm-hmm. One of the most safe bets in baseball. Do you know how much he signed for?
By the way, the Yankees not getting Flaherty, passing on Edman. Remember, Kike Hernandez in spring training said it was the Dodgers or Yankees, and he picked the Dodgers over the Yankees.
Smart guy.
I mean, these franchises are kind of like because they're playing in the big boy water of the free agents and the trade deadline, and the Dodgers made the moves that they thought they needed to move. Now, listen, the Yankees went and got Juan Soto, and I get all that, and they've done some stuff, but like this year, just the way it's aligned, like the moves the Dodgers made that the Yankees didn't because they were the same dudes, has come back to haunt the Yankees.
Yeah, 6 years, 162 was the contract for Freddie with a lot of deferrals. I don't know the exact deferral breakdown, but remember they chose Matt Olson, who's also a really good player. It's not like they don't have a good first baseman, but Freddie's a legend. He's a Hall of Famer. He's going to be a Hall of Famer.
Career ends today. He's not yet, but he's going to keep
pretty
playing.
Damn close. He's got MVP. He's going to have 2 World Series.
Yeah, he's Hall of Fame cruise control.
If he plays the rest of his contract, he'll probably have 3,000 hits. I mean, by the way, let's not forget the Yankees passed on Yamamoto too. They tried.
Yes.
They tried.
There are a lot of connections here.
They tried, right? But they didn't really try.
They said on the broadcast, I think they said on the broadcast for game 2. Yes, they did because I was listening to it again. So they said the Yankees like really badly wanted him. And then they even told the story about how the Yanks, did you hear the story? It was like Cashman and some others went out to LA. Yamamoto was training there. It was a beautiful sunshiny day. And they're like, we're screwed. We're going up against this weather. And I'm like, I know a good way to beat the weather. Offer him $425 million. Like everyone has a price. You could have had him, but I think they drew a line. And listen, it's not like he was a stud this year. He pitched half the season, but these guys are showing up when they need them. The Dodgers play the regular season for October. They do. They play the regular season for October, and they were trying to figure out how they can crack the October code and win more consistently on October. Problem solved.
Was it worth it? Was the Yamamoto contract worth it since they're going to win the World Series this year?
Everything is worth it when you win a World Series. Coming from me, and from you guys, I'm sure same thing. Everything is worth it. The team's making a ton of money. Who cares if a guy's a little over or underpaid? Whatever, right? You're winning a World Series. It's all great. How can you dispute anything otherwise? I mean, we always go back to like Jason Hayward and the Cubs. Like it's not like that he necessarily had the speech that changed it all. Like maybe it happens anyway, but also if he's not on that team, if everything's not the same in the multiverse, what happens differently? I don't want to change anything.
remember though when they traded Chapman to the Yankees or from the Yankees, the Cubs. They acquired him and they gave up Glaber and they gave up, I forget who are the other people in that trade were.
Glaber was the prize.
Glaber was obviously the prize. Do you think the Cubs care?
No.
Not one bit. They're like, Glaber, see you later, dude. We got that. 108 years.
Ask any fan. Like the Cleveland Guardians are a good example. They haven't won in a long, long time, right? Or have they ever won?
Ask the Baltimore Orioles fans right now if they would trade their prospects for a World Series.
If I said to a Baltimore Orioles fan,
you got to lose Jackson Holiday, but you win a World Series. You got to lose Jackson Holiday, Mayo, Hurstad, name the top 10, but you guys win a World Series, would you do it? They'd all be like, sign me up.
Thank you. Everybody roasted me because I said Jackson Holiday for Tarek Skubal. No, they'd never do it. They'd never stop. You can't do that. You can't. There is a price. You talk about Yamamoto. If you really want Yamamoto, you'll pay $400 million for him. Wow, nobody's going to pay $75 million more than anybody else. Nobody's going to give Jackson Holiday away for Tarek Skubal 2 years of there's a price. Maybe it takes Heston Kjerstad. Maybe it takes, that type of haul to get the guy that you want to win the World Series. That's it. That's the whole goal, and that should be your focus. More prospects come along. World Series rings, only one team gets one a year.
It's facts. It is. All right, so spin it forward. Is there any iota? Oh, wait. Before that, we're gonna spin it forward. I need to spend 2 minutes on this. Foul Territory has a great YouTube channel. Please subscribe to it, like this video, comment. We're doing all this stuff as much as we can. It's free. We love it. Okay. There's a video right before the World Series started called Ump Show. It's a segment that we do. It's about how MLB decided they didn't want the world's best to be calling balls and strikes in this World Series. And it's fucking insane. It is insane. The zone was a joke again tonight. I think the zone was okay in game 2. It didn't get a lot of attention.
Yeah. Andy Fletcher had a good game in game 2.
Yeah,
I didn't see the auditor,
he did.
but I want to see the one from tonight.
Carlos Torres was shook game 1.
There was a big the Gleyber Torres call. Now, they didn't even worry about him swinging when it would have loaded the bases for Soto. That was a big call. Now, I'm not saying Soto comes up and hits a home run to make it, 4-4 or 4-3, whatever the score was. But, that would have been that would have put a lot more pressure and made this game a lot more interesting. I love when Gleyber just goes like this and drops his bat.
But here's the thing, and I always go to Kratz. What do you look for, even though umps aren't perfect, but what do you want?
What do I want? What do you mean?
You want a consistent zone. There was no consistency. It's low, it's high, it's east, it's west. It's bullshit. It was a bad zone. You had a bad game.
It was strikes. It was strikes off the plate, balls on the plate. I'm not talking all of them. It was too many for this situation. Andy Fletcher, who was one of the worst umpires, balled out in game 2. Andy Fletcher, if you look at his numbers, he balled out. He brought it. That's what a vet does. Mark Carlson is a really, really nice guy. That's who was behind the dish. Doesn't play. I'm a nice guy. I don't get to go play in the World Series just because I'm a nice guy. You have to earn it. And there's an opportunity to earn it the entire 162 games. And if you don't, you get to go home.
And I know many fans enjoy hearing this for a few minutes because the complaints are off the chart. And for anyone complaining, you're right. And for anyone that's like, boo-hoo, stop talking about the umps, or that didn't affect the outcome anyway, you're right. The Dodgers probably smacked the Yanks anyway. But I don't care. It's the World Series. It's a legendary World Series. Yet we have crappy game callers behind the plate. Why? Just why? It's actually a smack in the face to the talent that we have. There is enough data out there to say, hey, what's our top 10? Cool. They're calling the game. If that. Really, if it was up to me, I'm like, what's our top few? And I'm rotating, maybe 3 umps that are calling it all.
I would say take your top 7.
Fine.
At least behind the plate. Now, you could throw other guys in
I
the
don't
field,
care about the rest. We can replay
the
review
five,
their bullshit.
Take the top 5 to 7 and say, all right, you're umping behind the plate. You have behind the plate.
Thank you.
You know what I learned tonight, though, also, before we play it forward?
Yeah.
Ice Cube beat Fat Joe. Not only is Los Angeles kicking New York's ass on the field, but Ice Cube kicked Fat Joe's ass on the rap battle of the games 2 and 3. Because Ice Cube came out and he sounded like it was almost like a recording. I don't know if he lip synced it or not, but he was good.
And it was smooth.
And it was just easy. And then Fat Joe, I was like, because there was voices in the background singing, and nobody really knew the words either. When Ice Cube came out and sang "Good Day," it was a good day. The whole crowd was going they all knew the words. Fat Joe came out and they were kind of they showed the crowd. And there was one lady they showed doing the lane dance, from Seinfeld, and the rest of everyone was
Yeah, the awkward crowd shots, and I think they probably. I do not have any insight here. I think they probably made some other asks that they couldn't pull off.
Dude,
that's all I'm gonna say.
You got to read Juan Toribio's tweet.
Oh, I actually did write that one down. Damn, I have it. Yankee Stadium is so quiet right now. You would think that Fat Joe is performing again. And if you're watching right now and you're like, we're being hard on the Yankees. No, the Dodgers are up 3-0 Watch previous post-game shows. Actually, in game 1, Dodger fans were on our case. We have a lot of Dodger fans that watch the show. I feel like we respect every team and we disrespect every team when it's due. But they're up 3-0. They're spanking them, and they even won the pregame battle. They did. They won. Nobody's looking at those 2 performances that's ever been to a music performance before and goes, oh, did you guys hear Fat Joe? Like, if I just
love
score
it in
it
the
was
chat.
like
People are like,
8-2.
Fat Joe ain't even fat anymore.
Well,
No, he's not. I know. They
Ozempic
called him
Joe.
Botox Joe on Twitter. They were like, oh, Botox Joe.
No, it's got to be Ozempic Joe. Ozempic Joe.
Exactly.
Oh.
So it was a beatdown.
Where
right?
was Jay-Z? They couldn't get Jay-Z to come out?
Well, that's why I have other thoughts. I don't feel like I should put them out here right now.
Okay. I don't know.
I'll tell you after the show.
Listen, it's all in good fun. I think that, but I mean, Ice Cube came out and I was like, this is pretty sweet.
It was smooth.
And I didn't know that Fat Joe was coming out. So when he came out, because listen, Ice Cube and Fat Joe were kind of like in my heyday when I was kind of that age and when I was playing. And so I was like, oh, because like, I remember David Ortiz, who is on the set, Fat Joe had the song Big Pun, Big Punisher, whatever it was. Wasn't that him?
No.
Oh, wasn't that him?
That was Big Pun.
Oh, that was Big Pun. Never mind.
That was Big Pun.
So whatever.
I do love
but
that
I know
song,
that David Ortiz, when I was playing with him, he would always listen to Fat Joe and the Big Pun song.
Yep.
So like, I'm sure David
I don't
Ortiz
want to
was
be a
rocking.
player no more.
Yeah.
I'm not a player.
Yeah, that was like his jam.
That's Big Pun.
Oh, my bad.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Crush a lot.
Yeah, that was Ortiz would play that, and he'd
It's great.
and even everyone would call him Big Pun.
Today they were booing his ass off at the ballpark, which
of
is
course.
I mean that's fun.
By the way, Jeter crushed the first pitch too. By the way,
Yeah.
So I don't know.
It was great. It was entertaining, even though Fat Joe did not pull it off. It was entertaining to have like the essential rap battle one night versus the other. They're mixing in like a little bit of a dig, right? Like we're taking this back, and Ice Cube had a few things, so that was fun. All right, so let's lastly spin it forward. Is there any iota of a chance? Like, what does the roadmap look like for the Yankees to make this a series? I'm not even going to say come back and win, but what does the roadmap look like, say, to get us to Los Angeles?
Beat the bullpen.
Aaron Judge has to hit.
Big start. Big start by Heel, and big start by the offense, because then you can keep Heel in the game and you don't have to go to the bullpen, which you go to the bullpen again early. That even if they win the game, that cashes you for game 5. You need 4 innings out of Heel. If you get 4 innings, that's crazy that I'm saying that. But if you get 4 innings out of them, you have a fighting chance, because you don't know how Flaherty's going to bounce back for game 5. You hope, but you're not sure. And that's how you get back to LA. We're not even talking about winning the series yet.
You get back to LA because you got to get to Garrett Cole, game 5.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's your ticket. How do you get to Garrett Cole in game 5? That's your ticket against Flaherty. You got to get to Garrett Cole. And then you say, all right, well, then we have Rodon. And I guess they would start Schmidt in game 7.
Rodon is like a blister thing or something, did I say?
I don't know. Maybe Nestor starts. Maybe Marcus Stroman makes an appearance. I don't know what they're going to do.
I'm like, who cares?
But you got to
win a game.
Your path is you figure out a way to win game 4.
Yeah.
And the way to do that is you got to score some runs. Like, you got to get Judge going.
How?
Again, Judge didn't do anything again tonight.
Because he's not fixed. He's still April Judge. He's not fixed.
Dude, okay. Remember what we talked about on Kratz, on foul territory, on FT, regular FT today?
Yeah.
What'd I say? They're going to throw him a heater in. You throw all your chips in your first at bat, and you rip one foul. And what'd they do? And he was late. And I was like, no! Literally, I was like, no! That was it right there.
That tells you everything.
I know.
To me, if I'm a pitcher, I go, oh, cool. It's still the same Judge. He's not there yet. It's October Judge right now. It's not May through September Judge. That's what it is, right? Do you see that? Like, if you're behind the plate, Kratz, and you see how he went after that heater, and you're like, damn, he missed that? All right, we're good.
I changed my view on it after he took the 2 sliders, or maybe they were sweepers, whatever they were, down in the zone, because he was late on the first heater, and he looked like he was on time. It looked like his timing was on time to just spit on that slider. Because if you're looking slider, and you will swing at ones off the plate. His timing was on time for that. I thought that cutter that he threw him late was totally in between anything that he was ready for, and I thought that's why it got him. I was like, okay, it wasn't an awful at bat besides missing the first heater of the game, which AJ told you. And then he caught that one off the end. And I was like, I thought when he hit it, I thought it was a dinger. Just the angle of everything, but it was just right the same place he had been the whole time. He's just running out of bat. His swing path normally opens up, down, and away, but now it's creeping to middle down to down and away. So now it's a larger quadrant that he's missing out on this whole like area down here.
I just want you to watch. I want you to watch his they talked about it again on the broadcast. And when you listen to the broadcast, they were like, he's opening up too soon. And they're like talking about him getting hit by a pitch. And that was the reason why. To me, he's just been thrown so many sliders that we've talked about this earlier. He's been thrown so many sliders that he is just set. I'm going to prove as a hitter, when you get thrown the same pitch over and over and over again, you eventually say, I'm going to prove to the pitcher I can hit this pitch. And that's when you start chasing. You're like, instead of just saying, and he took 2 really good pitches, and then 3-2, he got the cutter that he struck out on. But to get to 3-2 was a really good at bat. But then he got, like Kratz said, he got a pitch he wasn't looking for. But you got to say, all right, I give up on the slider. I'm going to look for the pitch I can hit, which is a heater. And he's always had great success on heaters in. So they're going to throw me one of those early in the game. Like tomorrow, I don't know if Brazier starts, whoever starts for the Dodgers. Like his first at bat, he's going to get one of those. Don't miss it. Like, and if you strike out looking, all right. If he throws you 3 perfect sliders down and away, but just you got to get one of those and get back to center.
Yeah, you might get lucky because it's not the world's best ump, so maybe they'll give you a couple calls. You think you struck out looking? Maybe not. You never know in this series. Anything goes in the World Series. But anyway, as we said at the top, props to the Dodgers. They are just doing it all right now. They lead the series 3-0. This could be a sweep. We're going to do a post-game show no matter what after this one, so make sure you check us out. Again, we also have other shows under the FT Network that you can catch. I think they're both done already. Dodgers Territory and Pinstripe Territory. If you're a fan of either of those teams, you want to hear what they have to say, go for it. We're going to be back on Foul Territory on Tuesday. Ken Rosenthal is joining us. I think Jabba Chamberlain will be joining us. And Ron Darling will also join us on the show. So we'll go over all of this if you want to catch us live for a couple hours in the afternoon. And this was the post-game show powered by MLB 9 Innings 24. Let's check it out for a moment here. QR code on the screen. The game is free. They support FT. Give them a little look. Again, it's a free game to download if you want to see what you got, especially if you get a little lonely or you're homesick from baseball after this series potentially ends tomorrow. Get the best baseball game in the palm of your hands, all the latest from the 2024 season. We'll see you on Tuesday, FT fam.
By the way,
yeah?
Before we go off here, I just got one thing to say.
Go for it.
They use Griffey and Trout. Neither one of them have ever been in the World Series, so it's kind of ironic we're using them as post-game. Listen, they're awesome players. They're both in the Hall of Fame. Both going to one's in the Hall of Fame, one's going to the Hall of Fame. They're way better players than me. It's just ironic that those are the 2 they chose.
We're
talking about it on the World Series.
Mike Trout, demand a trade while you have a chance.
Listen, I played with Griffey. I felt bad. No, wait. I thought we had a shot to go, and we lost.
Back then, also, you don't have as many playoff teams and all that. Nowadays, no excuse. You got to be on half the teams, not half, but a good chunk of teams make the playoffs. If you're a legend, don't let your whole career slip by. Speak up. Say something to your ownership group. Say something in public. I know he's so loyal and he's so nice, but it sucks because it's really fun to have superstars in the postseason. So
AJ played with Griffey. I play with Trout. That's MLB 9 innings. You and I would be the faces of MLB like 5 innings, like just a shorter game.
Yeah, maybe even like 2 innings.
That's fine.
Now, right? Just like a quick
okay with that.
Good.
I'm okay with that.
But anyway,
here's
the trailer, and thanks everyone for watching. We'll see you on the next show on FT during the day.
Wow, not bad for only one MVP. Here's how a 3-time winner does it.
That's cute. Call me when you get to 6:30.
Whatever.